Hey, no real plans for today. There was something kind of serious I wanted to talk about off the top, which is I'm still working on my weight loss stuff. I got a big drink here. It's just a tea, unsweetened, um, which still isn't ideal for weight loss. A lot of diets will say you can drink as much unsweetened tea as you want, and like it's far from the worst thing you can do. So if that's something that helps you, especially in the earlier stages, go for it. Unsweetened tea, because you don't want the sugar. Um, there's some other drink substitutes that work as well. But if the best thing you can drink is water, get all your liquid from water, and don't get any You don't want any calories from drinks. Certainly, special occasions are all right once you got things under control, but generally speaking, you don't want calories from drinks, and that includes alcohol. Now, again, if you're an alcoholic, be careful with that because you can withdraw. I'm not giving my cat weed, but he was curious what the smell was. And it's funny because he always likes the smell until it gets right up into his nose, and then he gives you this, ugh, what the fuck is that? So this weed is called Holland. Focus. Focus, camera. Holland OG. So shout out to Tom Holland, or Holland Tom, not the Spider-Man, but the one who pretends to be Spider-Man on Uber to teach, not Uber, on Twitter to teach kids about history. I'm going to smoke some of this in a bit, but I'm just going to finish the last whatever it is I had. So anyway, the health stuff is serious though. While you're trying to burn a lot of weight, don't focus too much on muscle mass gaining because it's counterproductive. When your body burns calories and burns fat, it'll burn muscle first. So even if you're doing it right, it'll burn the muscle. Now you can build muscle mass while you lose weight, and I've done that in the past, and it does work. But it's you have to be really on top of your macros. Macros meaning fat, calories. I'm not thinking that I didn't prepare anything, and it's been a while since I thought about it. But so fat, carbohydrates, and I don't know, there's a fucking third thing. So you want to make sure that those are all in the right balance for what you're trying to do. And then not just any old carbohydrates. You want that don't get your carbs from drinks. And you also want to, if possible, completely avoid sugar, no more than once or twice a week. And on those days you can pig out, but if it helps, like if that's something that helps, that's fine. But try to keep it minimal. Next thing is with weight loss, you shouldn't ever feel hungry. You will at first for a few days, a week, couple weeks maybe, but once you get into the routine, it's set up so you eat smaller meals. People say like 3 to 5 meals a day. I don't I don't necessarily think of it that way. I think of it as maybe a couple sort of bigger meals, and then just varying, like different kinds of snacks throughout the day, mixed with like a protein shake, some fruit here and there, because natural sugar is okay in appropriate doses, and don't blend fruit. Like, it's better than nothing, but don't blend it. It's you lose fiber that way. And then, if you're gonna say all this food is gross, if you live in the ghetto, yeah. So, but there are solutions. It was a stale hit. You know how that goes. Stale smoke sometimes. I'm just gonna pause. I gotta catch. It went down the wrong pipe and it was stale smoke. So just give me a second here. All right. Now, in terms of types of diets, I'm not gonna get into paleo or trendy diets of any kind, gluten. For the most part, most food is going to be fine as long as it's not really heavily genetically engineered, which isn't to say all genetically engineered is unsafe, but let's take Tyson's chicken, for example. There's no fucking way I'm eating Tyson's chicken if I can avoid it. Now, that's not slander, because I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying there's no fucking way I'm eating Tyson's chicken if I can avoid it. All that shit out. Just a second. Another misnomer is that if you eat X number of calories, you just need to burn X number of calories to break even. So like if I eat 1,000 calories of nachos, which generally if I eat nachos it's going to be more than 1,000 calories. But let's say I eat 1,000 calories of nachos. That doesn't just mean I need to run for 1,000 miles. Now I realize that math is wrong, but you get what I'm saying. Like 1,000 calories burned from running isn't just going to directly burn off the nachos. It's going to burn off, frankly, it's going to burn off muscle first, because the body's an asshole. Now, if you are going to run when you're trying to lose weight, you should run while fasting. So, at the very beginning of the day. Once you're in basically good shape, when you run doesn't matter as much unless you're working on building mass. Building mass is actually nearly as bad for your body as is being obese. So that's also a trend we should generally stop. Not necessarily entirely, because you certainly can be healthy, though obese people can also be healthier than non-obese people, even without things like diseases. One of the points here is don't judge someone by how they look based on their weight, in the thought that I'm healthier than they are, because you certainly might not be. Years ago, I had a problem with opiates. I've only done heroin a couple of times, never with a needle, but pills And years ago. But so I was driving this chick Uber somewhere to some bar, and I was pretty big at the time because I was off drugs, and when you get off drugs, a lot of the times you'll replace it with sugar, which is why I'm fat now, because I just relapsed not too long ago. It's all good now. But I just relapsed, and now I'm working down off the sugar. So I was big, but she's like, man, I drink like 5 or 6 shots every night. And I'd be like, oh, I took like 30 Vicodin one night. You think your organs are more fucked up than mine? Now, fortunately, I just have a good constitution. Doctors have compared me to that of Aussies. I think we could have partied back in the day, except that I ate cocaine. Anyway, drugs are bad. Don't do drugs. They can be fun for stories, but listen to other people's stories. Don't live your own. If you're really curious about something, do the research first and make sure you get it from a good source, from a tested source. Hopefully these things will all be either completely just removed from society, like we don't need crack. Cocaine is probably okay if administered in more reasonable doses and more pure, though, I mean, I don't think it belongs. I mean, I don't think alcohol really belongs. I mean, a few drinks is generally fine. It's just everybody I know is an alcoholic, so I'm a little biased on that one. Crystal meth should go. Opiates, I do think it's okay, because that opiate high can be really magical in a way. Now this is not, don't mess with opiates. Only use them if prescribed by a doctor. I'm purely speaking philosophically, in that they do opiate use for a short amount of time, and I do mean a short amount of time. So if you can take maybe a few extra pills, say Vicodin or Oxy, for a couple of weeks, and then feel shitty for a couple of weeks coming off of it, and then not really go back to it, maybe once down the road, but as long as it's not something habitual throughout your entire life, I think it brings something interesting out of you, in the same way that I think psilocybin, LSD, which I think you can use more than stuff like opiates, but I think that it gets something out of you. I'm not saying it unlocks a universal truth. It just, if once in the right stable mindset, it just opens your mind to new possibilities. Academics explain it as, yeah, but you don't need drugs to understand that. To many of whom, to which I reply, yeah, but you don't understand that. So it's like, most people who have had those shared experiences, let's say, I don't love that term exactly, but it's close enough to, if you've done it, you know what I mean. Have you ever been experienced? I have, not necessarily stoned, but beautiful. So, I mean, you know what I mean. And there are professors who have been there, and there are people who do get it who haven't had to do it, but it's certainly not common. Further, it's not necessary for everybody. Not everybody has or needs that kind of constitution. There are plenty of people who enjoy just simple labor, simple jobs, and many of which we can replace, so it'll be the less irritating ones. But people just like to do stuff. The point of which is that we're not approaching any kind of global crisis or job shortage. It's just we're entering into a new era, and one which should be very good. Final note, just just don't do drugs. And if you do, be careful and follow the trusted scientific sources. Do your research. If you do buy drugs, make sure you're getting it from a good source. If you can, invest in a test kit. They're generally pretty effective. And you do not want to take something that isn't what it's advertised as. That can go bad very quickly. I'm going to pause here. We're going to do some more fun stuff, I guess, in a bit. I'm just not sure what. But I kind of want to reflect on this just a little bit. Alright, so a bunch of my videos keep getting claimed for copyright just because I'm playing massive songs by huge artists recorded by asshole labels, so I'm going to try to avoid doing that, at least for tonight. Let's see. Alright, so the next thing, I'm pausing my taxes. I only got one of my W-2s, for those of you following that story. There's a couple emails I was going to look at here, unless I did and forgot. I already went through the ones that are just not worth your time. So let's look at this. There's a few there's a GQ Daily, a Yelp Phoenix, and a Complex. We're gonna do Yelp Phoenix first. It says, need some fresh air, question mark, sun emoji, hiking, strolling, communicating with nature. Alright. Sunshine is good for you. But this time of year it is. And yeah, I need more vitamin D. And then there's just a bunch of other garbage in the message. But I do need more vitamin D. GQ Daily, how an unloved Air Jordan became a hit, plus 20 far-out sweaters to fuck up your closet. View this email in your browser, update your email preferences, GQ Daily, the best things you'll ever ... Alright, so the first one is how an unloved Jordan became a hit. Thanks to The Last Dance, a buzzing sneaker market, the Air Jordan 1 mid has become a bona fide smash. I only watched about half of that Last Dance and did not particularly enjoy it. I like Jordan, I like the story, I like all those people, but it's just kind of all stuff I'd heard, and the stuff I hadn't heard doesn't add anything very interesting to me. I'm glad they made it. It's great. Like Jordan, I love Jordan. It's great to celebrate him, but and I hope they make more with other people. It's just I grew up Jordan. I had Jordan posters all over my room, so like it's just not something I needed to see. So this was written by Callum Marsh, January 27th. 2021, which is technically yesterday, but it's 2 a.m., which is not the time I thought it was. I thought it was still yesterday. What day of the week is it? Sorry if you don't like burping sounds. I'm really high. I feel good. Wonder what Joe Budden's doing. Probably sleeping. It's 4 a.m., so he lives in like Jersey, I think. And Complex is in like around Midtown. I imagine he'd probably go in today. And it's 2 here, so it's 4 in New York. I imagine he drives. And I imagine it's not a very expensive car, because why is he buying an expensive car? I've seen his house because it was on something, and it's just a house, nice house, but it's just a house. So like, he's not having some nice car. He seems like the type to get there early or late. I'm guessing late today, so I think he's sleeping. Alright, so I'm going to read this. I'm not going to read all of it out loud, but I might say things. Nas and Justin Timberlake have these shoes. I like Nas, I like Justin Timberlake. I like Nas more, but I like Justin Timberlake. They're like the Canada of Jordans. This feels like an insult. Oh, I like those shoes. Never mind about the insult. And the Canada reference hits too. We'll follow this Instagram page. Good article, GQ. GQ, I like GQ. I mean, it's not like hard-hitting journalism. But I don't mean that in a bad way either. It's just, like, they're good at what they do. Generally. Sometimes they repeat too much of the same stuff, but like they put effort into their journalism, so it's not like we can be just putting out these pieces every day and have them be as good as they are. They're not the New York Times. They're not just going to produce any old garbage. Oh, I like those red ones. Oh yeah, those are the Jordan ones. Yeah, Jordan ones are not necessarily my favorite. I like the alternate version with the black and red swoosh. I like that one better. I like the blue one, but I'd rather have the black and red. Gold one's nice too. Oh, I like that because it's Lakers colors. If you put like a 8 on it for Kobe 8, I would totally get that. Great stuff. Nice watch, GQ. Oh, I'm going to look at this most popular watches of 2020R. This is also by Camel. I think just wrote that. That would be Gemstone. Oh, I like that Rolex. Green one. I like the black one too, but I don't like the little wheelie thing on it. Not digging that Jordan Rolex. Not digging that Prince Williams. Drake's is like an insult to watches, but Drake's like an insult to rap. Tyler's Cartier watch is excellent. Maybe the best here so far. Oh, this is good. Who is this person? Oh, whatever. It's the one at the bottom. It's a Rolex with kind of like brownish color, and then the face is like, not the face, but the rim is like red, orange, green, blue, purple, yellow, purple, pink. All those colors weren't right, but yeah, that's good stuff. Alright. 24-ounce sweaters to fuck up your closet. Lanvin color block knitted jumper. That's not like I don't think I'm the target demo for that, but like I get that for my girlfriend. The Elder Statesman striped knit cashmere cardigan. I'd get that for me and my girlfriend. Acne Studio striped crew neck jumper. My girlfriend, but I'd put it on if it was nearby. Pringle of Scotland reissued Argyle knit jumper. I'd get that, and if my girlfriend tried to take it, we'd have words. Marnie striped crew neck jumper. Another one for her, but I would also wear. Lowy knitted polo shirt. That's just a pass. If I saw somebody wearing that, I'd accidentally rip it, and then give them 1117 to buy a better shirt. Chitin check pattern cashmere jumper. That's like a Where's Waldo shirt. I think maybe on the right person. Jacquemus Lame crew neck jumper for the Michelin Man. Alright, yeah, I'd wear that. Looks comfortable too. Olu Ollie Troy panel jumper. I like this one. I'd try it. I don't know if that quite fits me or not. I think I could pull that off. I like that one. I like that one. Wacko Maria Jacquard leopard knit jumper. Let's get rid of the leopard prints. I don't need more leopard prints. AGR Intarsia zigzag pattern knit jumper. That's really close to something really cool. I do like that one, but it's hard to say exactly what, but I do like that one. But it's really close to something really cool. Portsby long sleeve landscape knit jumper. I like that one. That's another one I'd get for my girlfriend, or like for my grandma. Ooh, I like this one. The North Face Black Series Arcia knit slogan jumper. Steep tech. It's got a mountain and some science stuff. I like that one. I like this one a lot. Ooh, I like this one a lot. J.W. Anderson Intarsia anchor motif knit jumper. I love this sweater. I would wear that forever. That's a cool design. Gucci Square G felted wool jumper. Looks like it has holes in it. I would not buy that. If somebody I knew had it, I would make the holes bigger and give them the $680 to replace it with a better shirt. Casablanca rainbow print jumper. You should burn all of those. Roberto Colina pointed collar rib trim jacket. I'd have to see it on somebody. That seems like a good kind of, not exactly goth girl, but and not like fake goth, but like kind of just like I could picture like Kristen Ritter. Pringle of Scotland reissued Argyle knit jumper. I like that. It's a good golf shirt for golfing in Scotland. Other than the sleeves, I guess, but it's like, yeah, I like that shirt. A neighborhood leopard print V-neck cardigan. I love that. Only $2.92. That's a steal. Telfar cable knit off-shoulder jumper. Yeah, it's another for the girl shirt, but like I'd wear it too. It's comfortable. Had Salvador Dali got into knitting, it would have looked like something like this. And let's see. Joe Biden and the Peloton presidency. I don't know that word, which is weird. I know most words. Oh, it's a company. Yeah, I see what they're getting at. But yeah, I'm not going to read that. I don't care. Todd Snyder's winter sale just got way cooler with an extra 40% off. I don't want to see shit on sale. I don't buy stuff on sale. The $70 desk mat. Oh. Alright, so it's like desk stuff. I'll take a quick look here. As you can see, I use my bed. Yeah, I mean, they look okay as far as desk mats go. That's something they still need to work on, if you ask me. 12 culture shapers on the clothes that make them happy. Alright, I'll take a look at this. Oh, I already looked at this. Like twice. 25 jeans for under $100. Don't care. Bottega Veneta is still making next level Chelsea boots. I'll take a look. Little tire boots. Yeah, I like those. And that's all that's there. The real life diet of Shannon Sharp, who wakes up at 3 a.m. to outwork guys half his age. You don't need to wake up at 3 a.m. to outwork guys half your age. Like, just work out like at a time when it makes sense to work out for your body. When you do it doesn't matter. That you do it matters. People are weird. I'm not gonna read that one either. Shannon Sharp's alright. I liked Stephen A. and Skip better. I mean, Shannon's a better nonsense caller. Like, what? Shit. Fuck's his name? Skip is not the easiest guy to stand up to, so he stands up to him better, but Stephen A. was way better. And Woody was the best, because it was just, like, Skip would say something ridiculous, and then Woody would one-up him with something just bizarre. Alright, so I got some more coming up. I'm going to pause again, because I'm going to get some popcorn. Alright, before we get into Complex, I'm going to play I got some sandwiches. Homemade bread. My dad makes good bread. But I'm going to I'll do the Complex thing in a bit here. But for while I'm eating, we're going to watch and listen to Rock gets raw about self-harm and talks artistic honesty and healing through rap. People's Party. I love Rock. I seriously think she's one of the best MCs in the game. Forget female as an idea. I just mean, I think she's one of the best MCs in the game. And I think her future is huge. The Sharecropper's Daughter was a fantastic top to bottom. It should have been Album of the Year on everybody's list. I want to need some more weed. Still not on that new stuff, just getting more. Oh, I watched the Guillermo Happy Birthday stuff earlier on Camel, and it was really sweet. I love that they treat Matt Damon the way he should be on that show. So I bite pause as this goes. Oh, it's part of the clip from the whole quality interview, and I want to watch the whole thing, but it's just a 5-minute clip, so.
You open up a little bit about your experience with self-harm when you were a teenager, rapping about taking pills to get rid of your body fat and how you still have scars on your wrists from cutting. What inspired you to dive into that dark part of your life in song, and why is it so crucial that we face those issues in art?
I think, again, I talk about like the healing power of music. And the type of music that always like resonated with me was the kind that like told personal stories. And for me, that was a story that I had never really told. Something quite honestly I was ashamed of, but I realized years later that it becomes such a part of me that I didn't even notice I didn't even notice the scars anymore. And when reflecting on it, I was like, wow, this has become a part of me, and it has been a part of my development into the woman I am now. And at the time, while it was so traumatic for me, it was so hurtful. I was kind of like in this really dark space, going through that and finding, that clarity and finding that light was so was a lengthy journey. But when I thought about it, I was like, okay, this is something that we don't talk about a lot. We talk about we're supposed to hide those things. We're supposed to hide those unsavory bits of ourselves. When we ask each other like how we're doing, we don't really want to know how the person's really doing. We just want like this perfunctory answer, like, oh, good, right. But what would happen if we talked about those things? Would there then be someone who's like, yo, like, I felt that way too, or I went through that too, and I needed to hear that, And I thought about like, if my teenage self, if my preteen self had heard this song, would things have turned out differently? And I don't regret the things that, I experienced. I think that they made me a stronger person, and they made me wiser in many ways. But for me, it was important for me, especially during like the whole social media age, where this illusion of perfection is like imposed upon us, Yes. It was important for me to create something that was just like, yo, like, you are so beautiful just the way you are. You don't need to like mirror somebody else's life. You don't need to hide these things. And I've been seeing so much more of that, women who are like burn victims, who are, proudly like showing their skin, Keke Palmer just like revealed like her.
Yeah. Oh man, that was so excellent for her to make that post. I was blown away.
Oh, beautiful.
So beautiful.
Yeah. And so, it was just like, we're done hiding. We are so dope like we are. Of course, there's always the potential for growth and change, but the things that fundamentally make us who we are, we shouldn't have to hide that because we're trying to adhere to this like societal standard of normality or like perfection.
I agree, and that's I always say on the show that social media is a gift and a curse, and one of the gifts is being able to be invited inside of people's vulnerable moments. Because for Keke Palmer, as we were just talking about, for her to post that and to show her skin when her skin always looks flawless, it really touched me, because whenever I have skin problems, it's like I don't want to leave the house, I don't want to post on social media, I go into hiding, but it's a normal thing.
I don't know who Keke Palmer is.
And songs like you have, like, there's a lot of teens that are out there, cutting themselves or trying to get skinny. And I remember the Saved by the Bell episode used to always resonate with me when Jessie was taking those pills and she ended up like passing out or whatever. And I was like, I don't want to do that because I don't want to end up, how she did.
Sitcoms are good.
Yeah.
That is funny because that episode, like, I remember that episode like, like it was yesterday. But like it's important. It's important for me to like keep that realness, that transparency to a certain extent, because you have to hold certain things to yourself. Like it's necessary to maintain a sense of privacy, because people already get extra. They'd be like, Asada Perkins, coming up to me at shows talking about Asada Perkins. I'm like, I'm Cyrock in this round. Like,
Right.
I know you looked in Wikipedia and everything, but yeah. Yeah, it's important to maintain that sense of privacy. But for me, like, it's also important to allow people to see that you are a human being. Mm-hmm. And, there is a certain mysticism and mystery surrounding artists, it is, it's, you're able to reach people so much more deeply when you reveal yourself to just be like a real person.
It's more personal. Even though you're often talking to a large audience, it's still more personal. Because you don't see everybody else, so it feels one-on-one. Gonna watch this Colbert Open from last night. Not really a fan of his show. I do like the guy, he's funny, but I don't like the show.
Hey there, everybody.
Can be good. I mean, I like the guy. I like the guy, plenty of good segments, but his monologues can be good. I just don't really like his interviewing style. Well, I do like it because it helps me now.
Buddy, welcome to A Late Show. I am your host, Stephen Colbert, bringing you the show tonight from the diorama that we're submitting for our 8th grade science project. I hope we got a good grade. When we finally emerge from this pandemic, there will be some phrases I really never want to hear again, like social distancing or grim milestone or Zoom happy hour. It's either Zoom or happy. Pick a side. But we're still a long way from tunneling up to the sunshine because yesterday, the global tally of confirmed coronavirus cases passed 100 million, with almost a quarter occurring in the United States. Well, he did deliver on that America First thing. We just should have asked what the category it was in. But it's no surprise that we have 4% of the world's population and 25% of the cases because the previous doofus in chief colored concerns over the virus a hoax, promoted quack cures, and mocked people for wearing masks. It was the worst public health message since 1929's President Hoover says, "Don't be afraid of syphilis, partner. Real cowboys ride bareback." Hoover, far more sex positive than I remember.
It's a good joke.
But there's a new sheriff in town, and I'll catch you up on his plans in tonight's edition of Catch a Third Wave, Endless Bummer.
Don't wear your mask. Don't wash your hands. Don't wear your mask. Don't wash your hands. Don't wear your mask. Don't wear your mask. Don't wash your hands. Don't wear your mask. Don't wear your mask. Don't wash your hands. Don't wear your mask. Don't wash your hands. Don't wear your mask. Yeah, nailed it. Just call me COVID Van Beethoven. Oh, where'd you get that thing? Is that a catapult? Jeez,
Yes.
Ow, okay, ow.
I want to know how much of tonight's budget went into constructing this catapult, and then send that man a box of steaks. Yesterday,
That was a miss.
Yesterday,
That was good.
President Biden announced a dramatic change to America's COVID plan. There is one. The most exciting news, the federal government is buying enough additional doses to vaccinate 300 million Americans by the end of the summer. So next Halloween, you know the hottest costume is going to be sexy, normal people saying hello. They're sexy because they can touch hands. But that's not all. Biden also promised states that the total amount of vaccine they're going to get will rise from 8.6 million to at least 10 million a week starting next week. That means February 2nd, next week, Groundhog's Day, Puxatawny Phil can come out of his burrow and get vaccinated and stay within 6 feet of his shadow. Getting more vaccines is great, but we really need to re-examine the way we give them out, especially in Philadelphia, where they made the oopsie-daisy of letting college kids distribute vaccines, and the result was a disaster.
Of course
Well,
it was.
yeah. The only thing college kids are good at distributing are Ultimate Frisbee sign-up sheets and HPV. Apparently, the city contracted out their vaccine oversight to a startup called Philly Fighting COVID, run by a 22-year-old CEO whose resume included teaching a high school film class, producing videos of people longboarding, and practicing parkour. So he's not qualified to manage healthcare, but he is qualified to date your ex-girlfriend. No surprise. Things did not go so well. Local seniors were left in tears
This is a good bit, but I don't buy it.
after finding that appointments they'd made wouldn't be honored. Now this might affect these kids' career prospects. Okay, I see here under recent experience it says complete lack of moral compass and making the elderly cry. Welcome to Facebook. Now, that wasn't the only problem with this thing. While they were working on vaccine signups, the group switched to a for-profit model and added a privacy policy allowing it to sell users' personal data. Okay, but their users are almost all elderly. Who's looking to buy that user data? Big Butterscotch? Armchair Naps Unlimited?
Bad joke. Seniors' phone information is extremely important because they're the easiest to scam.
Shadowy globe.
Bear. Too many mistakes. Oh, we're still live. I was gonna pause it. So, alright, let's look at complex here. Shout out Joe Button. Where's Drake's career heading before certified lover boy? I don't know what that means. Where's Drake's career heading before? I think that should read headed. I think you should rewrite that title. I don't like that title. Like, I wouldn't replace it with headed. Like, I think headed is the right word, but I'd rewrite that whole sentence. Where is Drake's career heading before certified lover boy? It's also an article. So let's read the story. couldn't care enough to read any words. The best Louis Vuitton lyrics and references in hip hop. Let's take a look at that. Sure Mix-a-Lot, Swap Meet Louie. I think I know that song. Oh, I don't want to get a copyright thing. I think I know that song. 50 Cent, Ghetto Koran. I don't think I know that song. Cameron, Soap Opera. I think I'd know it. Yeah, I'd know it if I heard it, but it's been a while. Kanye, Last Call. Kanye, Stronger. Jay-Z. Kanye, yeah, he raps about them all. Big Sean. Wale. 2 Chainz. Pharrell. Skepta. Uzi Vert. Travis Scott, Playboy Cardi, Westside Gun, yeah, I like Westside Gun, Scotty's. I'm gonna pull that up to listen to later because Zelda's killing it. I've heard a lot of it, but I haven't listened to all of it through, and I don't recognize that one by name. Video looks familiar. And they do good videos too. Pop Smoke, no, don't care. Alright, closing that. Let's see. Should be a little bit more in here. Black protest organizers share the awful aftermaths of police targeting the kettling effect. I wasn't going to click on that, but I'm curious what the kettling effect is. I know the general struggle and I know what's going on, so it wasn't something I really need more of, but I'm curious what this kettling effect is. I mean, these movements are good. Continue to be non-violent, but that's not my point. I'm not in a position where the fine details really matter for what I'm doing. And there's nowhere I can copy kettling effect. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a police tactic containing protesters, that's right. I think there's another name it goes by too, but I'm definitely familiar with the tactic. Hero who wore Dior Jordan once to the inauguration speaks to Complex. I'm not at all interested in reading that, but that's a great story. And I mean, I'm curious to hear it, but not enough to hear it. Like, I talked to him about it. If he asked me if I wanted to talk to him about it. Well, I'm gonna pause here just for a minute. Alright, I'm back. So the next one, last Complex article, you might take a look at the site, but last article in the email is 8 players who could get moved before the trade deadline. That's some word salami there too, but these Al Capones are good. This is just a prime time. I mean, they're cheap cigarillos, but they're not no $2.99 for 20. isn't the first time this has happened. 8 players who could get moved before the trade deadline. I've been too busy to pay a whole lot. I love NBA. I love basketball. Played it since I was a kid. Followed it since I was a kid. Even in Canada, which was weird because Canada's all about hockey. Never really had a team. I mean, I've lived in Phoenix most of my life, so yeah, I'm a Suns fan. I loved the Seattle Supersonics. I really hope they get a team again soon. I mean, in my mind, the Lakers and the Celtics, like those are kind of the basketball teams. I liked the Nets since they moved to Brooklyn. I love Brooklyn. Blah. Blah. It's gonna be hard for me to say that without kind of laughing. But it is a cool local expression. I don't like to pretend to be something I'm not. And while I love Brooklyn and have spent some time there, I'm not from Brooklyn. I mean, definitely, down with that Brooklyn posse and all that. Anyway, Bradley Beal, I mean, his name I remember, but it's been a while since I watched. I think was he on Washington last I saw? I don't know. Oh, he's only 27. Yeah, he's on the Wizards. He can opt out after the next season. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he could get traded. Oladipo, he's a good player. Off season, yeah, they should trade him for something. PJ Tucker. Oh yeah, okay. But it's hard to say how good he is because he played with Harden when Harden was kind of playing by himself. Marcus Smart. I don't know if I'd want to get rid of anybody as the Celtics because they, I think they still got a good core. I think I mean, it's been a while since I looked at the depth chart, but I still think they got a good, decent young core. I guess it would depend on what they get for him. Zach LaVine, I could see them rebuilding a little and maybe trying to be good in a couple years, but I think they're good enough to try harder now. Maybe not this season, but I think they could build something for next season. Zach LaVine. Yeah, I haven't paid much attention to the Bulls recently. Yeah, but I love the Bulls. One of my historic favorite franchises. Even after Jordan left, they were just I like the. I mean, I don't know anything about the front office really, but I just like that organization. Except for when they dump players they shouldn't dump, but I always feel like that's part of something bigger. Not necessarily personal, just bigger. Alright, so they're a fringe playoff team. They skipped from Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade all the way back to MJ. They had other good teams in there, buddy. Come on, bud. Let's see. I don't know if they should trade him or not. I'd have to look at the depth chart. Again, it just depends what they get for him. They're kind. I mean, they are kind of in a rebuilding phase, but they do have some talent from last I remember. DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, get rid of him. Spurs need to just rebuild, I think. Andre Drummond. I really like that guy. I think he'd be great on the right team, and I don't think Cleveland is the right team. I think if he was to kind of split minutes with another big guy, I'm not sure who exactly. Again, it's too. I'd have to look at the rosters, but I mean, I feel like even Brooklyn, but like I've been paying more attention to them, so I kind of know what their gaps are, and they're doing really well. And they've run. Like, it looks like they're running a small team, but I think if they added a couple big bodies, you're adding like him and McGee. I think that would be. I think that would be a good idea. Oh, hey, they say Boston. Oh, wait, Boston. Oh, yeah, Boston would be a good fit for him. I was thinking Charlotte, but I don't know enough about Charlotte. I don't think about New York. I only think about Brooklyn. Miami, and yeah, I think Miami would be a good fit, too. Those are probably better fits than Brooklyn. Derrick Rose, yeah, I think he could play. I think he could fit in on any team as a role player. They say backup PG, but I mean he could do shooting guard. Like he could do two guard or whatever. He maybe even small forward. I know he's not a big guy, maybe not physically up to it, but if you want to go really small, or if the defense is really small, I think he fits anywhere. Oh yeah, the Lakers would be great. I'd love to see him on the Lakers. Alright, let's just check the Complex homepage, see if there's anything else interesting here. Game of Thrones animated series. Yeah, mostly stuff I've seen. Let's check some of the headers style. I'm just curious what they have for style. Yeah, I see this stuff. Music. I mean, I like Complex is a great publication. Seen all this, sneakers. Seen that. I didn't know they had a shop. I'm curious what they got in their shop. They got a nice set of shoes. Like, there's a nice collection of shoes here, reasonably priced for streetwear, about $100 each. Now, yeah, I realize that's not reasonable price for shoes for poor people, but as far as like stylish, sweet streetwear goes, oh, they got some cheaper stuff, $65, pretty nice. 75 for something pretty interesting. Full collection. Yeah, they got a collection here. Let's see what else is there. They got some glasses that none of which look like my style. Shoes, like the other kind of shoes. Sweatshirts. Regular shirts. Zuma shorts for $250. So they're catering to the Supreme crowd too. It's decent stuff. I think it looks a little overpriced, but it is Complex, and Complex is cool, I guess. Alright, so that's it for Complex. I'm going to pause here for just a minute because I'm really, really high. I need to pause it. Alright, let's talk economics for a minute. There's a clip from the internet that people think is a joke called I'll show Wu-Tang Financial featuring the RZA and the GZA. But it's not a joke.
The most precious thing in the world is the financial security and well-being of your family. You want to send your little ones to the best schools, and in the end, know that you've left them with peace of mind. Nowadays, we all know that cash rules everything around us. Cream, get the money, dollar bill, y'all. That's why it's time to enter the 30...
Let's stop it right there. People were laughing, but that's not funny. That's the truth. I mean, I'm not saying I don't love Chappelle as a comedian, but what I'm saying is that's the truth.
B6 chambers and step to the Wu-Tang Financial. At Wu-Tang Financial, we'll work with you to devise the best plan for you and your fam.
I mean, Smith Barney, bunch of bitches. Old time parts. You gotta know how to jack this. You gotta play this game rough, you know what I mean? In, out, kick, grab, bump.
See, now what he's saying there is he knows that these suits, like they're in a room with suits, and they're gonna play the money safe because it doesn't matter if they make their clients money. What matters is they invest in long-term bonds that pay the firm dividends. So they're getting paid on something stable versus continual transactions where they just get paid a transaction fee, and the bond holders, or whatever, in this case the RZA and the GZA, are the ones making the lion's share. So they come in there dressed like gangsters because they're like, fuck you, I know your bullshit game, but I know because of Wall Street regulations I still need a sucker like you, and you're gonna take my business because you can't not, and you are gonna make money, but you're not gonna make as much as you want.
You need to diversify your bonds, nigga. Military is going up. You about to go to war, invest in some nuclear bombs. This ain't trading places, nigga. This is real life.
Yep.
Protect your goddamn neck. Alright?
And that's it too. The military-industrial complex is massive. It's not just bombs, it's stuff like commodities like concrete that they don't push you towards investing in because they don't want people with money thinking about that. And dealing with that's another thing that's going to hit into their commission.
Wu-Tang Financial, place for you and your kids.
All of our trusted consultants are here to meet your needs.
Unfortunately, the old dirty bastard couldn't make it today, but he sends you guys.
So call us, because at the end of the day, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to with.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing. Wu-Tang Clan ain't.
And aside from the obvious, what that means is Wu-Tang Clan has mastered the 36 chambers. They know the world they live in. You can be Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang is everybody who's Wu-Tang. Be Wu-Tang. See some movie something or other. Just gonna go to IMDb and see if I can find somebody I want to talk about. look at Chappelle. See what he's done. I mean, I know most of it, but he's done more than most people realize. I'm just gonna write something down here. So, producer, 12 credits, we'll skip producer, 29 actor, and 20 writer. So let's do actor first. And if there's dupes, we'll just skip it. The end of August, I don't know. Robin Hood Men in Tights was the first thing I saw him in, and I absolutely loved him in it. I didn't remember him as Dave Chappelle, but from then on, I recognized him as that guy from Robin Hood. Aziz, his sneeze. Achoo, that's right. Didn't see Undercover Blues. Let's see what that one was. Herbert Ross, I know that name. Right, Secret of My Success. A bunch of other stuff too. Boys on the Side, Steel Magnolias. That's a big step up for Chappelle. After Robin Hood, Getting In Wrong. I don't know that one. I don't care. Home Improvement. I watched that recently and think I remember seeing it on it. Buddies didn't see. Nutty Professor was pretty fun. Joe's Apartment. I loved that movie. That represents my life in a really depressing way. Didn't know he was one of the cockroaches, but I love that movie. Con Air is an excellent movie, and he's like, you don't even really notice that it's him in it. I don't mean that in a bad way. Dead Cats, I don't know, The Real Blonde. It sounds familiar, I don't think I saw it. Matthew Modine, Catherine Keener, Daryl Hines, it's a good cast. Tom DeSillo. Oh, Living in Oblivion, okay. Yes, that's probably good too. Some TV and shorts. Let's see. Half-Baked. Is a movie he was in. And then the Larry Sanders Show. I don't remember him in that, but that was a good show. Woo Lenny. That was. Looking at it doesn't help, so I missed that. You've Got Mail is neat, and I really liked that, like his role in that movie, because they didn't make it a point to point out that he was black. 200, like in Friends with the CEO. 200 Cigarettes. I know I saw this one, Ben Affleck, Casey Affleck. This is, look, it has a huge cast, doesn't it? Yeah, I've seen that one, but I don't really remember it too well. Blue Streak, I love Blue Streak. That's one of my favorite roles of his. The shootout scene. That's just such a great movie. Screwed is another one. I love that movie with Norm, and yeah, I love that movie. Undercover Brother, I never watched, but I did want to. Wanda at Large, I think I actually saw most of it, not all that series. I think it was only on the 1 year, but I think I watched it all. Chappelle's Show, I've obviously seen millions of times. Crankacres, I saw probably most episodes of, don't specifically remember them. Baldwin Cafe, haven't seen. Chirac, haven't seen, but would like to. Star is Born, haven't seen, but would like to. Let's look at writer. Skipping over things I already mentioned. Oh yeah, his stand-ups. I mean, all his stand-ups are perfect. And Block Party, yeah, Block Party was really good. I'm gonna open that because I'm gonna do something with that a little bit later, but not for this. Let's take another look at a quality clip here. It's with Ja Rule.
Irv Gotti and you are forever linked together. What do you want to share about the vision, business skills, and how important he was to your career?
Oh, extremely important. I mean, first and foremost, I just want to say that's my brother and I love him. You know what I'm saying? We probably the only duo that's still, together, and rocking and strong, relationship-wise. But when we're gonna go back to when I was in that young age, you know what I'm saying, and growing up and coming up, and everything felt like the world was just falling apart. It went from good shit to me being in, getting locked up for gun and drug cases and all kind of stupid shit, in just a short period of time. And then then the family's really looking at me like, yeah, I knew they were the bad seeds of the family. You know what I'm saying? Look at what he's over there doing now. He's locked up. And then to get into the music,
he's always a stylish dude.
Nobody believes him. You feel what I'm saying? Like, nobody believes. Like, even my mom was like, yeah, I know you're trying to do the music thing, baby, but, maybe it's time to get you a real job.
Yeah. Not interested. I was never a Ja Rule fan, so I'll skip that one. But I don't dislike the guy or anything. Seems like a good dude, but I was never really into his music. Don't know his story. Might end it here in just a few, but I'm just gonna take a look, see if there's anything else interesting. Here's one of my favorite Mos Def things.
Hang your kid. Hey gang, welcome back. Welcome back, man. We are hanging in here having some fun. Please make some noise for my brother Mos Def.
All of the cats that will shine right. Pull up to this spot on low, shine bright, and then all of the cats that got on glow. Lay in the cup like they not gon' know, cause if I gotta make a move though, they not gon' know. This doing more private, this is not full show. It's Mos Def what you call real full show. Is they what you call gangster? Hell no. They get a little pinch, they gon' snitch to the pole. They all talk fast, but they all think slow. I'm most definite, not think so. Fudge this city with the black ink float. Now my crew ain't scared to let them things go. So stop with the nonsense, like he conscious. I'm just awake dog, I'm doing great dog. I don't play games, I don't play, I hate y'all. Get it straight and get the fuck up on my face dog. I'm like the second plane that made the towers face off. This shit to let you know it's really not a game dog. Your grind and my grind.
Cut it off here, but look that up. Chappelle's Show, Mos Def. There's a Kimmel bit that was put up 13 minutes ago. Let's take a look at this. Leslie Odom Jr. on playing Sam Cooke and having mean tweets about him. Nah, I'm not interested. I am interested in that as a movie, but I don't need to see a promo for that. Sounds like a fun book, but I don't know. I just don't watch it. I mean, I'm happy for him. And like I say, I'd watch that movie. Sam Cooke has an interesting story. Like, see, the thing for me, like, I kind of don't like previews. Like, I'd rather just wait and watch the thing. And then hear him talk about it after. Oh, here's Marlon Wayans on rappers getting old. I gotta get it. Love Marlon Wayans.
This Rapper's Delight was such a fun song, you know? It was fun, the lyrics was easy to remember. It's like Dr. Seuss wrote that motherfucker. It was happy. It was like hip-hop even white people could enjoy. Because the lyrics were so basic. I said a hip, hop, hip it to the hip, and a hip, hip, a hop, you don't stop and rock it to the bang, bang. Boogie the up, jump, the boogie to the rhythm of a boogie the beat. Look how happy white people are right now. These two white boys is in there, see like, hip, Robin, turn up it, and me, the crew, and my friends are gonna try and move out with it. See, I am.
Those look like Jordan 1. Maybe not, but I'm blind, but they look like Jordan 1.
Hotel, motel, holiday inn. If your girl start acting up, then you take her friend. Yeah! Fuck yeah, why reward bad behavior? I ain't trying to be a hater, you know, I like some of today's artists. Like, I love Jay-Z. I love Jay-Z.
Yeah, he does love Jay-Z.
What I love about Jay-Z is that he's an artist that matures, and his music matures with him.
Yeah.
You know, like right now, his new album, 444, he's talking about grown man shit. Stuff that's relevant to grown-ass men, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's talking about, like, marriage, and children, and family legacy, and wealth, and cheating on your wife, and getting caught, and getting your ass beat in the elevator by her crazy little sister. You know, shit that happens to grown folks. That shit happened to me twice last year. But see, some of these rappers be rhyming like they 25 years old. I'm like, hold on a second. Nigga, you 50. I want some age-appropriate rhymes from you. You better give me some middle-age crisis rhymes, nigga. These young rappers think I'm a sweetie. Nah, sugar high, diabetes. These rappers want to fight me? Go ahead, call your boys. You can't kick my ass. They're full of hemorrhoids. Oh, you want to fight this? I stay knuckled up. Thanks to my arthritis.
Sometimes I snort. Fuck you. Oh, that's great. Wish I had a button I could click to just type "that's great" without having to type "that's great" in the comment. Type, oh, that's great. Period. Let's see. Getting ready to wind down, but just gonna see what I see. There is a Jim Cornette clip on one of the walls. He's got a few good-looking clips here. Jim Cornette, if you don't know him, is the mouth from the South. To hear what he did with Gil.
Well, Jim, obviously 1998 was a pretty traumatic year for you, and reliving it wasn't much
Hey,
fun.
man, I got an idea.
What's that?
I got an idea. If they can do the new Midnight Express, they do the fake Razor and Diesel, what would people have thought if they did the new Rolling Stones? And you had Ron Wood there, but the rest of them were members of the Strawberry...
I'm going to listen to that. I'm going to listen to that one later. Yeah, I think I'm going to listen to Jim Cornette off. and more good stuff's getting uploaded to YouTube, and that makes me happy. Put stuff up online, get rid of copyrights. You don't need to get paid for shit you did years ago. I did amazing shit for people years ago, and I still don't get paid for it today. So just shut the fuck up. And if you're like, yeah, but people listen to my song, well, yeah, but you have no idea what I did to make the internet what it is today. And I'm not saying I'm Al Gore or anything, but but I'm telling you, without some of the work I did, the internet would not be, the good parts of the internet would not be as they are. And I can back that up. And no, I'm not rich, and yes, I could have a lot more money, but it's never been about money for me. And I'm doing fine. Looking forward to getting with my girl Jenny soon. Let's take a quick look at Reddit. I haven't looked at Reddit in a while. I don't go to 4chan anymore because it's just a total cesspit, but every now and then Reddit still has some good stuff. They're usually pretty slow now, but nothing interesting here. Same old, same old. My keyboard battery's dying, I gotta plug it in. Back to the top, I'm gonna do a refresh, see if it's different. It is. Look at PewDiePie. Yeah, no, nothing there either.
Do you know this guy's resume?
Listen to the Fat Joe DJ Khaled Amorphous Sunshine track. That's the next song going to at least 500 million. Get in on it before your friends do. Alright, here's a quick Jim Cornette 6 minutes.
This next one, sent to cornydrivethrough@gmail.com from Ali Sabagi in Mashhad, Iran.
Well, now wait a minute. So Ali from Meshuggah has written this question. What is it?
Hello, Jim. Hope you read this and answer my question. My question is, who is the better man between AJ Styles and CM Punk? Who had the bigger impact? And who was the better wrestler? In my opinion, it's CM Punk. He was the most over guy WWE had in recent years, and even after he left, fans never gave up on him. He had so many great matches and great promos. What do you think? Thank you, bye.
No, fuck you in there, eh? Okay, well, read the first line, the first line of the question.
And again, let's understand there may be a little bit of a language barrier here.
Well, yes, I know, but I'm just saying let's get back to the meat of the matter, the way the question was phrased. Read the first line of the question, I will comment.
Who is the better man between AJ Styles and CM Punk?
And that's, second language, but who's the better wrestler? Or who's the better star? What? See, that's an open-ended question. What are you looking for? As far as technical wrestling, I think CM Punk would probably admit that AJ Styles is a phenomenal athlete. The springboards and the balance and the drop kicks and that flying phenomenal forearm and the dives and, his physical conditioning. True. Yeah, AJ would be ahead of Punk in that category. Probably by a good bit.
Yeah.
Having said that, everybody remembers Punk's pipe bomb promo, but CM Punk is quite a wordsmith. AJ Styles has never had the reputation as being a world-class orator. If you put AJ Styles on a fucking soapbox in the middle of the town square in merry old England, you think he'd draw a bigger crowd than CM Punk? Verbally? Probably not.
No.
Are you talking about who achieved the higher level in the WWF, because they both worked there? AJ was used more consistently as a main event guy in TNA than Punk was really used for a longer period of time in WWF's main event guy, but it was TNA. So
I'd put Punk over.
Punk achieved more success being over on his own as a single in the WWE than AJ did. Does that make him a better wrestler? Or does that make him a better personality? Or does that just mean that they pushed him better and his booking was better? All of these things have to be taken into play. AJ Styles was never in a position where he could quit if he didn't get the main event at WrestleMania and be able to tell the son-in-law, I don't have to work with you, you need to work with me. Not that AJ would probably ever come up with that witty of a line to begin with anyway. So it just depends on what you're looking for. There's really no clear-cut answer.
No, I agree.
Punk had more success as a single wrestler when business was stronger in a spot on top in the WWE than AJ did.
Yeah.
AJ was definitely a main event wrestler in some company for a longer uninterrupted period of time than Punk was.
Huge.
A lot of that time was spent in Impact, so that's got to factor in, because that's like being the nicest guy in prison. You're a star in Monogram Studios. There's no comparison between really the athleticism of AJ and Punk. AJ gets that. There's no comparison really in verbal abilities. Punk gets that. And as far as who was the best professional wrestler as worker, as psychologically, I think Punk got more fucking mileage out of less, because AJ, he had to have those long athletic matches, whereas Punk was able to work and draw money with in shorter WWE-style pay-per-view matches against the top workers that wasn't going to be doing fucking dives and topes and Coronas and things.
Does that make Punk the smarter worker?
Probably. But not really.
Yeah.
Because AJ was smart enough to know, look, he's 5'7", and at his size, he had to do that stuff or he was never going to get the chance. So it's not... And also, AJ is one of those guys that he never did shit that was reckless or dangerous, except maybe to himself. But he's got that weird ability to figure that shit in to where it doesn't look like just a bunch of fucking high school cheerleaders.
Right.
So he had to do a lot more stuff at his size to get noticed and etc. So it may make Punk a smarter worker, but it's not like AJ was going to get the opportunity to work like Dick the Bruiser and be on top.
Did what they needed to do.
In terms of bigger overall stars, CM Punk?
Yeah. Just because he was on top when there were still, the WWF had twice as many viewers as they have today, and AJ was still in TNA where they had twice as many viewers and 5 times as many viewers as they have today, and still didn't have half of WWS.
All right, well, Jim.
I mean, this is math. I'm not knocking either guy when I say that. When you're the star of a television program that's being watched by 4 million people every week,
shouldn't be taken as an
you're a
insult.
bigger star than a star of the television program that 1.5 million are watching. Isn't that kind of the way it goes?
That last little bit's a little off, but other than that, like, yeah, no, he's pretty much dead on there. Probably gonna wind up here. I'm just gonna do one more look and see if there's anything new popping up. I mean, I got some stuff I want to do, I guess, but. Time for you to fuck off. See you later.